recently asking for the summary and scope of the investigation. You see, the process they followed was that the police asked the director of public prosecutions to provide an opinion as to whether or not, well, I should say, the Royal Grenada Police Force. Now, here's the way they conducted this investigation. A certain superintendent, a man of high integrity, in my opinion, interviewed William Charles. He interviewed, that's the mother of Jamal. He interviewed the brother who they were there to arrest. They also interviewed Jamal, who was shot. They interviewed several witnesses from the community who were there when they heard the gunshot. They also interviewed all of the police officers who were involved in the shooting. And then they submitted those interviews to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions for an opinion as to how they should proceed. I am saying they submitted the interviews because I think that is how, at least in the circumstances, a proper investigation should be done. I don't know, because it was an internal investigation. Police investigating police. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions then wrote an opinion. We have not seen that opinion. Based on that opinion, because only the Director of Public Prosecutions can charge, the RGPF has decided no charges would be laid. And in fact, the shooting of Jamal Charles was justified. Well, that almost sounds like the shootings we have in the United States. That sounds like the grand juries returning a no bill against the people who choked Errol Garner. That sounds like the way the racist governments, state governments in the United States treats policemen when they kill black people. We don't have that situation here in Grenada. We ought to have transparent processes that ensures there is confidence by the public in the way that the police do their work. As it is right now, we don't know. I am anticipating, Brother George, to get a response from our police commissioner. And he has promised me he should send me a response to my query, and that I'll be getting it very soon. He's preparing it. I don't doubt them. I don't doubt that. But you cannot start with a bad process and get good results. And I keep knocking my head against the door. And it's as though I'm speaking a foreign language. Maybe something else ought to happen.
How is young Jamal doing at present, sir?
Well, Jamal's recovery, thank God, has been the prognosis is that he'll have a healthy recovery. At least we do not know the extent to which Jamal's career as a football player may be over. A doctor has opined likely that it is.
Right.
Because remember, the metal fragments of that hollow point bullet are still lodged in his thigh. Because they are micro fragments, it is not safe to remove them. As you are quite aware, I am certain, there are many persons who live normal lives with fragments of armament lodged in their bodies. I don't know how many of them are first-class footballers.
Yeah.
Jamar is emotionally, he is troubled by the news that the police officer who shot him, in the opinion of the Royal Grenada Police Force, was justified in shooting him. Now that's difficult for the young man. He's struggling with that.
And finally, sir, what's the next step from here?
Well, we have filed correspondence to the Attorney General's office informing him that we would like to amicably reach some kind of agreement, and failing to do so, we would of course seek judicial intervention in the High Court. They've asked us, ironically, for the investigation. The notes. The letter I received from the Attorney General said, please tell us what happened. This is foolhardy on its face. Let me say this. No, this shooting is not of a citizen of another citizen. This is a shooting by the Royal Grenada Police Force, an officer of the force. This is an incident of national concern. Every citizen ought to know, what will it take for me to be unsafe in my home so that I do not attract a bullet from the gun of a police officer? So to ask the victim to explain what happened is a deep insult. So they've asked that. I am not responding to that question. They know exactly what happened. They have all of the notes of the interviews. It's the same department. The Ministry of Legal Affairs, the Attorney General, the DPP, the Royal Grenada Police Force.
Yes.
They know what happened. I don't. I don't have the investigative notes. Neither does the family. So we have served notice on the Attorney General's office that we'd like an accommodation that brings some semblance of justice to the child's family. And I pray good sense will prevail. If it does not, well, the doors of the courthouse are open, and we intend to walk through with our claim.
Doing a case of the time it yeah tracer pure no you say yes on to this that 10 weapon I what today guys friend kids friend girlfriend ready let's how they get to get to a comment matter this is so out of 1 5 have 20 enough with put the guy guys even up sent it here gonna points I'm again I say the layer one winner easy how you love next gen I'm for everybody chance you guys we make sure guys share guys you 100 answer in what I'm your hand got it is the wow here study over here the they sitting down there's a side and military it's right now that you trivial Friday so mill and this guys is the day vend to you green damn it it's on this 5 and all you like me down that at would you enough so by the way is there gonna there for other great everybody the cults next that's in a siege your man that's where the free why today yeah he and do this shit I didn't even get a chance to ask you guys it's kill as more that is more it's to show you go best your but I think everybody tie and something more. Everyone points back to last man. Some anyway is sorry. No big single day. What's Gina Matson? We're gonna just a lot of great. Let's and the right 25. I've shot. You know, can 50 increase so correct and good. One is like that. That's 20. How you guys go emoji.com, and so go just go 7 side well 0 just you know it you have to work that is you could take whatever a point 3 or 4 by go and quite a take us to the show late into the game. What is it? Wow, can't wait. Can't wait. Don't forget about